Yeah, this thing's got plenty of beans. This Rebel definitely has a cause. Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. Really cool to have this bike out today. I've been looking forward to riding this one for a very long time. Used, you can get these about 8,000 or 9,000 bucks ish. You can build one online for about 10. I'm sure you can have it shipped to your dealer for a nominal fee. Okay, parallel twin, 3.6 gallon tank. I think the tank on the 500 and the 300 is like 2.9 gallons. This is a 2022. They all come with the LED package. You've got every 1100 comes with anti-lock brakes standard and cruise control, which is really cool. This one's the DCT. The DCT on my VFR 1200, very easy to shift, just clicks right into place. Same thing with this one actually. What's different from this, from the Rebel 500, and especially from the Rebel 300 is almost everything. Tire setup's the same. You have a 130 on the front, you have a 180 on the back, so you have nice fat tires. But on the 1100, your wheelbase is about 59 inches, and I believe on the Rebel 500 it's about 57 inches ish. I think this comes out to 1 3/4 inches or something longer in the wheelbase, so you get a little bit more stability to handle the speed. The 1100cc motor cranks out 87 horsepower, which in a bike that's right at 500 pounds ish is a great power to weight ratio. The 0 to 60 on this bike, it's about 3.5 seconds. So this gives you the same 0 to 60 as a VTX 1800, only in a package that's much lighter. Mighty Mouse. It's little but powerful. This is a parallel twin. Not gonna lie to you, I kind of wish it was just a little baby bit bigger, or the foot pegs were forward just a little bit more. And I'm not a very tall person. All right, here's the Kawasaki Vulcan S, 27.8 inch seat height, okay? But look where the foot pegs are, way over there, so you can stretch out on it. It's reasonably comfortable, even though it's a smaller bike. The Rebel 1100, 27.5 inch seat height. There's the pegs. That space right there. After about 40 minutes, I was in some pain, but that's just me. Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. Mighty Mouse. All right, we're gonna pump it on sport mode. And then you just hit that D button, and let's pop that into sport mode right there. No, there's sport mode. That's how she does. Oh yeah, sport mode for sure. You know, my VFR is like that too. My Honda VFR 1200, it's a DCT, and when you put it in regular drive mode, it's okay. But when you put it in sport mode, you're like, hello, Vika. We're gonna take it on the highway and give it the beans. See how good it is. Let's let that truck get up on there a little bit. Let's let that truck get up ahead of us before we go giving it the beans. Beans. Yeah, that's about right. And I wasn't even hitting it that hard. I could have hit it harder, actually. Now, if I don't like the gear, I'm going to hit this plus and go on up. Or I can hit this minus and go on down. The controls are really... Oh, hello, Vika. If I was on my ZX14, I would not teach you a lesson, because I don't do things like that. Alright, let's take it up. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this thing's got tons of room. Doesn't redline till 8,000 RPM, so I'm at 72 now, and it's at 4,000. I think the compression ratio was 10 to 1, so that's sport bikes 12-ish. Big goofy cruiser is usually 8 or 9, so you're right in the middle. Oh yeah. If I was on my GSX 1000, I would not teach you a lesson. Because as I said before, I don't do things like that. But no, this thing's got plenty of guts, man. Seriously, I would have no issues at all taking this thing on a serious interstate and getting into traffic and getting where I gotta go. Let's take this thing on some twisties and see how she does. I saw somebody online say that they didn't think this would make a good beginner bike. I'm going to argue that. I will argue with that point. If you're a beginner that knows their limitations and knows they're a beginner and will leave this on standard or rain mode to suppress the gears a little bit, then yeah, you know what? Get one. Because it's lightweight, the fat tires, this almost 60-inch wheelbase gives you a little more stability. The wide tires, the 130, the 180 on the back, really good, easy to corner, low center of gravity. This bike feels so light, it's not even funny. Typical Honda, brilliantly engineered. I would get one because you can grow into sport mode, then put it on sport mode and get used to what you can do, get used to the corners, get used to how you can ride it. This is a bike with the 1100 on it. This is a bike you could grow into as a new rider. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm probably going to get blowback for this. If I was like 6 feet tall or more, I seriously, I wouldn't even think about this motorcycle. You're going to eat your knees, you're going to hate it. I mean, I'm 5'9.5", I'm sort of eating my knees now, but you know, if you're super tall, you're seriously not going to like this bike. It's so well balanced, the throttle's so easy to control, that low speed maneuvering in this thing is absolutely easy. A 3-year-old could do it. It corners great, it's great in a straight line. The motor in the mid-range does sound awesome. It's really got a good soundtrack. Good soundtrack, good torque, great pull. I would have no qualms about this thing. You know, the cornering is an absolute breeze. I mean, look at this. Those big fat tires, the size of giant donuts. I mean, this thing's, it's kind of cool, man. I mean, it really is. You know, the more I'm on it, the more I'm liking it. I am so glad they put the 1100 motor on this thing. I mean, I rode the 500. You can watch that video. I did a full review of the Rebel 300 on the highway. You can watch that video on TG MotoRider on YouTube. By the way, please hit the subscribe and bell button. I usually post about one video a week. Bike reviews, tire reviews, bikes in the rain, tires in the rain. But I was a stuntman for almost 30 years. Worked out of Chicago, did stunts on Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Contagion, did a lot of Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med on NBC. If I'm not on two wheels, I'm feeling like I'm missing something. My friends tell me I spend more time on two wheels than on my 2 feet. Probably true. The Honda Rebel 1100, so used right around 8 or 9 grand. That is not bad for what you're getting. Honda technology, this one's got 13,000 miles on it. It's a 2022. Whoever had it but definitely used it as a daily commuter. I can see why. The transmission DCT, even though it's a DCT, is very tight. Oh, no self-canceling turn signals. So if my turn signal stays on for long periods of time, I'm used to, my Victory has self-canceling turn signals. My VFR has self-canceling turn signals. The Rebel does not. I mean, I could see why this bike is so popular. I totally get it. I totally get it. It's light, it's fast. So yeah, it wouldn't just necessarily be a good first bike. This would make an excellent daily commuter. You kept your Harley or your Victory or your really nice $25,000 bike in your garage. You take it out a couple times a year, but you want that in-between bike, that daily grinder, that one you can just pound out the miles on, going to work every single day. That'd be this one. And to be honest with you, with the 3.8 inches of rear shock travel, it's still very smooth. That hydraulic suspension in the back does make a huge difference. I rode the 3 and the 500. They are not this smooth. This is much smoother. And I think it's 4.8 inches of travel in the front, which is only 0.3 inches less than a VTX 1300 in terms of its suspension travel. That's almost not noticeable. So, still very good suspension. We're going to get back on the highway now. And we're going to let her rip a little bit. This thing is so effortlessly, I mean, just so flickably easy to deal with. I mean, it's just so light. All right, we're in 6th gear. Let's take it up to 75 and see where we tack out, knowing we've got an 8,000 RPM red line on this thing. If you're on a highway where the speed limit is 75 or even 80, you're going to need to know if the bike can do that comfortably, reasonably, easily, and still have enough pull and torque to be in good shape. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I'm pulling like a son of a gun. I'm at 82, and I'm doing 4,500 RPMs. That is really not bad. This thing is great. It doesn't feel wobbly. Suspension feels solid. The front end doesn't feel like it's too light for the speed. It feels great. Yeah, I totally get it. I get this thing. I totally get this thing. If you see an 1100 DCT or an 1100, even if it's just a 6-speed manual, I would not fear buying one of these. So the Rebel 1100 DCT, yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. I mean, it's about as quick as the Vulcan S. I think the top speed's 129 miles an hour. I'm not sure what the Vulcan S is. But your 0 to 60 really is about 3.5 seconds if you pound it. And, oh, the turn signal again. I'm so sorry about that, guys. But, for sure, just wish 2-3 inches forward on those foot pegs, man. Because if you have the low seat height and the foot pegs are there, it's like being on the V-Strom. It's like crunching everything up, you know? Your hip flexors are screaming at you. But if you're not going to go high on the seat, then you have to go longer on the foot peg so that you can stretch out a little bit, you know? I'm 5'9.5". If I had to do a long trip on this bike, I would be sorry, but it would be an excellent commuter. If I'm shorter than that, I could see how this would just be a normal sized bike. You know, if you're a smaller statured person or you're an older rider and you like something light with a low seat height because, you know, you're older and you like to be able to still ride, but you want something easy to ride, oh yeah, for sure. This is your baby. Those wide tires, man, this thing practically stands up straight at a stop. It doesn't even want to fall over. So those are some things to think about. If you're considering the DCT 1100, I would have no trepidation about getting one. Get one, they're great. And the speed, you're gonna love the speed. Plus, if you're judicious with this, it gets good gas mileage. If you're not, it still doesn't get that bad. I mean, 47, 45, if you're hammering it all the time, it's still pretty good. This thing, really good torque. Excellent torque, 87 horsepower, and in a 500-pound-ish bike, that delivery is fantastic. With the fat tires, the 500-pound weight, the 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds. If I was interested in a sport bike, but I didn't like the sport bike riding position because it hurt my back, I would get this. I would get one of these. Because this is much more comfortable than being hunched over a tank, you know, in a forward-leaning position. And that's my review of the Rebel 1100 DCT. TG MotoRider, signing off.
Oh, here we are at the lake.
You were lucky to have a lake. We lived in a shoebox in the middle of the road, all 350 of us. Cardboard box, aye. You were lucky. What?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's more like it.
Nice and comfy.
Hammer time.